I was home maybe a day or two, and that's when Kristen called and said, do you want to come over? You know, I'm packing up my apartment. I'm moving back to Minneapolis, and I couldn't do it, you know. And, you know, she's like, you know, bring over my Pixies record and my, you know, this and that.
Princess pancake. Carrot muffin. And, oh yeah, 1 pot of coffee for 2 people. Or 3, one big pot of coffee. Do you want some coffee? Would you like some coffee?
I've got your coffee maker or whatever, you know. And I was like, you know, I told my girlfriend, can you just bring these things over to her? I can't see her right now.
Eric Erlandson had taken Drew Barrymore out for his first date with her the night before.
She'd gone back to Minneapolis, and then she kicked out there, but then she came back, and then she got high that night, you know. So when you go, when you get clean, and then you go and you use the same amount you did when you were, you know, that's when you OD.
Eric went to check on her before this date, and her bandmate was in there. She was snoring in the bathtub, and then he went out with Drew, and he had a bad feeling all night. Slept in with Drew in the morning.
The next morning I went to work, because when I got home from rehab, I was like, I need to go to work, painting houses on Bainbridge Island, which was like, you know, you take a job and you just kind of like get my mind off everything, and just, so I take this ferry every morning to the island and paint.
They had to break in the door, and she was in the bathroom, and they found her.
Eric was on the other line, and he's screaming, you know, she's dead, she's dead. And Kristen was in the bathtub, and I get back to, I've never spoken to Sophie Mueller, the director, again. I said, I've got to go, my bass player just died. Hung up. And went over there and saw her body, and that's the second body in 2 months. And I was like, fucking fuck.
The real kind of kicker was that she was so close. She was packed and ready to, you know, get out of Seattle, and, you know, she didn't make it.
That was the same day Kristen died, so that's pretty cool.
Did you do an interview on the day Kristen Pfaff died?
Yeah, that was when I did.
Why didn't you cancel it?
Because I didn't know she was dead till that night, the next morning. I was doing the photo, but she didn't use my other phone to score.
Your roommate's number, right?
Yeah, exactly. My roommate's.
Which is how we figured that was Kristen. When did you somehow that it was Kristen and sold it to her?
Because he called my house saying, how do I get a hold of Kristen? She just called me. And I'm like, well, call the number back, freak.
Hope I never ran into that guy. Kristen, it was just tragic. It was pure tragedy. It wasn't like, you know, it was just, yeah, pure tragedy.
Horrific. Overshadowed by Kurtz. Overshadowed by Kurtz completely. And just not fair.
The fact that Kristen died, it was like, what? Are you fucking kidding? At that point, my compassion wasn't there. It was anger is what it turned to. Not at her, but just at this whole, like, what is going on?
I go, you got a phone call. And I was like, you know, and it was my girlfriend, and she was like, Kristen overdosed last night.